Hi Wastelanders, this is Gary and welcome back to Throwback Thursday, where I go over my old knives before entering the third phase of collecting, which started in April of 2020, the 1st of April. Anyway, so it's getting harder to find my knives because I moved like a year ago, and I live in a studio apartment, so most of my stuff is in storage, and I'm finding a lot of my knives, older knives, are in storage too. I think because I've been going through some boxes and I can't locate them, but this Throwback Thursday is the CRKT Ryan Model 7. You guys are probably familiar with it. So this has been a knife that I've owned a long time. It may not look at it, but it's kind of crazy. I have 4 of these knives and I could only locate the 2. I think I have another black one, and I have a desert tan one with I think it's a black blade, or I think it's darker. But I can't locate those 2. So I don't remember which model Ryan 7 or Ryan Model 7 that I carried exclusively. I think this is new. I had it as a backup, and I think I originally planned years ago. I bought it and I was going to remove the dual thumb studs because I'm pretty sure there's a giant hole in here, and I was just going to remove it and like use it. So, but I never got around to it. So, but I've since learned to flip this knife using the big stud, and it's not super drop shutty, but it can be, because I haven't cleaned this in at least 5 years, if not longer. But it's surprisingly in sort of good condition. And I think this is it's a newer lanyard, but it's still like 5 to 10 years old. I don't even know how to tie the hangman's noose anymore, and it's weird. So I used to do hangman's noose. I think that's what it's called for all my knives, but I don't even remember how to tie that. I always tie snake knots and diamond knots and stuff now. But anyway, so let me move my camera back. So it's a decent flipper. I haven't flipped it in a long time. This is like me flipping it like probably 4 times in maybe at least 5 years, if not longer. So I'm surprised that I could even flip it reliably, but the action seems to be still good. So I wanted to look up Ryan. I wanted to look up if Ryan's name was the name of the designer or it was just the name of the knife. But I found out Steve Ryan is a knife maker. I think his website's not live anymore. It used to be steveryannKnives.com, and I found him on Instagram at Steve Ryan Knives, and he's on Instagram, but he kind of dropped off the map. I think his last post was in 2019, so he hasn't posted anything on Instagram since. But it was kind of cool. I found his I don't want to say prototype, but his original knife. Maybe it was probably it's not original, but I found a knife that looks like his knife. CRKT based the knife or the Ryan Model 7 off of. So, but there's no thumb stud. There's a big hole in it, but because this is not G10, it's Zytel. Some kind of, I don't know what Zytel is. Maybe it's kind of plastic or fiberglass. I really don't know. I didn't look it up. But basically, it's they have the original on Instagram. It didn't have these oversized thumb studs, but it had the same look and feel. And I found out on Instagram he posted a picture of it, and he said CRKT's been making this knife for 15 years. But I think that was like maybe 2 years ago he posted that. And I remember buying this knife. I kind of think I don't know. I think I bought it in 2005. So I don't know if I think it came out before 2005, and I tried to confirm with him. But I'm sure he's not going to read his Instagram posts because he doesn't post anymore. I'll just say I got this knife in 2005. I think that's when I got it. So it has bronze washers, and it has the locks system. You know, you remember me talking about that? Like if you engage the lock system and go forward, that locks the liner so you can't like disengage the liner. But it's not an auto locks. It's still a manual position. I think there's some locks that just automatically go forward when you flip it out the knife. I'm not sure because I don't own any of those. But I've seen that system referred to as auto locks or locks. So anyway, I don't know if this knife is Oz 6 or 8CR14 MOV because I don't have the paperwork anymore. And if you try to look up the knife, it says it's it's Oz 6. And then if you try to look up some of the later versions of this knife and newer versions, they say 8CR14 MOV. So I don't know. I mean, it's a decent knife and holds a good edge. Really, it's probably one of the two. And I like this gunmetal gray. I would call it gunmetal gray finish. And you could see has some wear on it. I really think I own another one of these versions that's really in bad shape, because I think I carried this, but I think that I bought another knife before, another version, and I thought it was getting much abused, and so I bought another one, and I have a backup and I have a desert thing, but I can't find the desert one or the other one. Buying several of these knives, you can tell that I really like this knife. I mean, I bought this knife in 2005, and I'm pretty sure that I carried it like, I don't know, like 14 or 15 years, off and on. This is a hollow grind. My cats. Get down. All right, come on. All right, this is a liner lock, and I said it's sort of drop shutty, and that's kind of based on this blade being a heavy blade, because it's on phosphor bronze washers, and it's straight, so it's fairly straight, probably just a little bit off, tiny bit off. And what else? I talked about the black Zytel handles, and the designer being Steve Ryan. And I'll post a couple links, or I'll post a link in the description to a site that I found where he's used to sell the custom knives that he makes. I didn't find the design for this that CRKT took it from. So I'll post an Instagram link, and you can go on Instagram and you can look at some Instagram photos. I'll try to post a picture here too of what I think is one of the original knives that this was based off of. I don't know if it's the original, but it's it resembles this, but it's custom. So I took some measurements beforehand just to save time, because I always take too long to measure the blade. So this is a 3.5 blade, 3.5 inches blade size, 4.75 inches handle, and overall it's 8 inches. So and then I weighed it, and it came out to 5.57 ounces. Well, this one came out to 5.57 ounces. This was 5.71 ounces, and I think the paracord may have added that a little bit, but in theory they should be the same, but the paracord adds a little bit of weight, I suppose. So, and if you want to know the model number, this is the 6803Z, and again, it doesn't say anywhere, but they call it the model, or Ryan Model 7. So this is you can see how it compares to the Tenacious. And we'll compare it to the Bug Out, just for the hell of it. Yeah. It's good to do Throwback Thursdays, because I enjoy showing you some of the old knives I've carried. I hope to find more of them, but I have some not impressive knives that I carried. I'll probably do one of those next week until I find my good knives. Or semi-good knives. All my knives are going to be budget, but some knives I like better than others. There's your Throwback Thursday. The Ryan Model 7 by CRKT. The designer, Steve Ryan. Look him up on Instagram, just to see and look at the links in the description, so you can see the knives he designed. I think he's a really good designer. Take care, Wastelanders. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.